Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tilting Ground Untitled Notre Dame USC Football Podcast. I'm USC fan and homer Michael Muto here with the pride of UHND.com, Greg Famong, Notre Dame expert. Greg, how are you?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing great. College football is officially over. We
Done.
had the national title game tonight, so Greg and I are recording live right after the national title game.
Right after, yeah.
And something happened in the national title game that made me think of USC coach Clay Helton. So I assume if you listen to this, you probably watched the national title game. And at halftime, Coach Nick Saban decided to switch his quarterbacks. And it worked. He put in a true freshman quarterback for the second half of the national title game, and it worked. USC coach Clay Helton had a whole summer and preseason to pick a starting quarterback last season, or 2 seasons ago now.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get it right. And ladies and gentlemen, that's the difference between Clay Helton and Nick Saban.
Well, it should have reminded you of Brian Kelly, who also pulled his quarterback at halftime of the bowl game.
And it worked.
He did it before it was, in vogue. He was doing those things. So kudos to Brian Kelly for his vision and his greatness in seeing that changes need to be made and then winning the game.
You got to do what you got to do to get the W.
And I'll say this, Michael. I understand that the touchdown pass by the freshman to win the national championship had slightly higher stakes, but Miles Boykin's one-hander was much better.
It was more aesthetically pleasing.
For the record.
I can confirm.
It's true.
That yes, the Miles Boykin one-hander was aesthetically pleasing, whereas the stakes were greater for Alabama and Georgia, but whatever, not important.
So, as is always true in games like when one team comes back, the number of things that all have to go right in order for Alabama to win this game are just so many, and every single one of them goes right, including, and the refs always do this in every situation, and it's not that they favor Bama, right? It's in every situation where one team is down and the other team is coming back. They always ref towards a close game. Every single
they
time.
Catch the penalties. They're a little more aware.
Every single time. I mean, we can't get Alabama, 0 holding calls in every single one of those. No holding calls. They get the blown block punt. They call them offsides. He wasn't offsides.
Yeah. And there was a false start.
And it was a false start on the 4th and 4 play where they tie the game. Don't call it. It's like, how do you miss these things? You have the kick returner just gets clotheslined, which is not – you can't do that. There are no clotheslines. Hitting the head.
I was watching the ESPN coaches film room feed of the game, and the coaches loved that.
You can't do it.
They thought that was great.
You can't do it. So, and it's for the world to see, and they don't call it. Let's see. You have the kid. Everyone says like Nick Saban coaching brilliance that did it. And look, it was a good call. It ended up working out. The kid's dead to rights. It's 3rd and 7. He's already not. He had one drive where it sputtered out. Then it's 3rd and 7. And he's due to get sacked. And
his scramble.
He escapes out of that. Then they go up 20-7. Georgia does, and then the kid throws a terrible interception. And then on the next play, it's tipped up, and Georgia throws an interception, and it ends up getting returned to like the 40. So it actually ends up working out for Alabama.
Being a net plus. The 2-play swing.
Just so many things where it's like, I mean, if any of these things don't happen, Georgia wins the game.
Yeah, the freshman quarterback throws it to the receiver he's throwing to doesn't catch the ball. The better receiver steals it from him.
Right,
score
exactly.
A touchdown.
So look, taking nothing away from the effort of that kid because he came in and he did the thing, And look, he made mistakes And that's what happens when you play. Like Bama's got all freshman players. Like they got freshman leading receiver, freshman catches the winning touchdown pass, freshman throws it, freshman running back. I mean,
freshman left tackle.
Please, people, tell me more about how recruiting rankings don't matter. Okay, it makes a difference. So, Alabama, fifth national championship in 9 seasons. Oh God. And it just goes to show, Michael. And I put it on the Twitter machine. And it just goes to show that it's important to be able to throw the football. And it's not lost on me on the fact that the game-winning touchdown pass is the same type of throw that was wide open 100 times for Notre Dame this year and not completed.
Just a nice little go route that's wide open over the top.
It just runs straight. And what I mean, just an awful blown coverage by this.
A good quarterback hits the wide receiver in stride. A bad quarterback overthrows him.
And I'll tell you what, the kid, he said that he looked off the safety, and I'm watching the replay back. He absolutely did. He absolutely, and the safety fell for it too, unbelievably, which he absolutely shouldn't. But
the senior safety who has the most interceptions in Georgia history.
You can't. I mean, it's inconceivable for someone who played safety. That is inconceivable that would happen.
Well, in the coach's film room, they said they had a feeling that Georgia didn't play a lot of too deep cover 2, and that this was the wrong time to try to do it if your team's not that good at it, because this is what happens.
Well, I would think that you would, because a lot of teams like to just go verticals, and I would think that, look, you obviously don't want to play too safe, but I feel like cover 4 in that situation, especially on second down, when you feel like they're just going to kind of take a shot. I feel like cover 4, where you have 2 deep safeties and 2, like basically you're keeping everything in front of you. Now that doesn't mean that you have to play back per se, but you don't have a situation where you have one guy leaning one way and then you got someone up the sideline. Right. So, but I'm watching the play, and he absolutely he's looking right the whole time. And then he snaps back left and just chucks the ball, and the safety doesn't have time to react. So, good job by him. It's a big play. I don't even know where I was going with that, but
you're talking about how quarterbacks need to make those throws even when the run game is being stopped.
They got to make the throws, Michael. And
one-on-one coverage, you got to make those throws.
And this is the point that I was going to go with that. I mean, this kid comes in the game, and for whatever mistakes he made, and the same goes for Fromm too, is they come in and they're not scared. They're making the throws. They believe in their ability to do it. They're not scared. I mean, this kid, Tagovailoa, he's pulling the ball on quarterback keeps. He's taking it into his own hands. He's running over people, getting first downs. And it's so frustrating because that kid is 18 years old, and we've got
he looks about 16.
And I've got a third-year quarterback who Notre Dame can't get to throw a dig route
because of mechanics,
because of whatever. Like, can't throw a crosser, like a 5-yard crossing route, without chucking it somewhere where no one wants it to be. And it's just so frustrating. Like, man, just like a mental, like it's just a mental thing. Like, why can't he be a gamer like these kids? Oh well.
That's for next season.
That's the way it goes, man.
Quarterback controversies abound for both our teams.
Yep. So that's that, man. College football's over
officially. So now we're in the who's leaving, who's coming talk.
Yep.
The players have until January 15th to declare for the NFL draft. Is that correct?
That is correct. So next Monday?
So next Monday.
Okay.
We'll have a complete list of who is left. Who's left for Notre Dame already?
Well, Equinemius St. Brown. Uh,
that last name sounds familiar, but maybe we'll get to that
I'm so
later.
mad at you. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. Yeah, he left, and
And then he was the leading receiver for 32 receptions, if I
something
recall
like that.
correctly.
I tell you what, Tim Priester for Irish Illustrated on a podcast, he had the best quote about St. Brown. And look, I don't have like that strong of negative feelings toward him. Like, look, I mean, the kid, he he did what he could, and
I
look,
feel like he did the best he could with what he had.
well, he was so like, look, he there were so many plays where he's just wide open and he's being missed. Okay, so it's hard for me to be like, well, he underachieved. It's like, I mean, he's not even touching these passes. Okay, that being said, Tim Priester was like, he's making the decision to end his career sooner because he's not going to get that year back in the pros. So basically, he's saying like, look, you're going to be in the NFL for like 3 seasons or whatever, and then you'll be out. So you can be at Notre Dame for 4 or 3, but either way,
Right.
if you're foregoing a season, then you are just choosing to end your career sooner.
Like this probably isn't. This season wasn't helping you, so next season can't really hurt you.
Right. So, you know, that's that. He's on to the NFL. Josh Adams moved on to the NFL.
Good for him.
Um, Good for him. It makes sense. And so now we're just waiting on Tavon Coney and Jerry Tillery.
Those are the two big names left.
Yes.
Is anyone dumb gonna declare? You think?
What do you mean?
Like someone who shouldn't, like
Yeah,
Maya from USC last year.
Damian Mama. Well,
Yeah,
Alize
Mama,
Mack
whatever.
might, I guess. The tight end.
Yeah,
I guess he's thinking about it. Personally, I mean, I think all of them. Like, look, besides McGlinchey and Nelson, right? It's frustrating to me to watch all these guys leave early. It's like, where you leaving early to be a fourth round pick. Like, I don't get it. And the thing is like, it's not that they are leaving early, like they have a fifth year. It like Equinemius St. Brown, true junior, Josh Adams, true junior, Tavon Coney, Jerry Tillery, all juniors. Like, it's not like they're seniors and they're graduating and they're foregoing their fifth year. It's like they're leaving early as juniors to be what, like a fourth, fifth round pick.
I don't know. I like getting paid to do things though.
I understand, but I mean, it's like, who else likes getting paid to do things? Mike
Ooh,
McGlinchey, and he made himself what? I mean, he went from a fringe first round pick to like a top 15 pick. I don't know. I mean, just seems like it just seems like
but I
it's
mean,
working out for people to
that's
stay.
not always the case. You can ask one Mister Matt Barkley
Okay, but these guys aren't
how that
quarterbacks
goes.
either. Look,
That's true.
whatever. That's fine. I mean, look, if they want to go get paid, then that's I'm not going to hate on them. It's their life. They can do whatever they want. It's just frustrating as a fan that,
Well, yeah, you want the best
like,
players
man,
always.
yeah, you want the best players, and it's like, look, you're gonna fourth, fifth rounder.
But I feel like Josh Adams is always hurt. Like, what
Well,
is he gonna
Josh
do about?
Adams, like, I get just from
Like, this is rough. It's not a good. He's
well, it's
always
like
like
his
something wrong.
longevity. He's already torn ACLs,
Yeah,
so
just get it over with.
yeah, like, it makes, like, running backs, they have a finite amount of time. So, but that's it's fine. But that's what's coming down the pike. I don't expect any of them back. I expect that Coney and Tillery will move on. And the happenings of last week are probably accelerants towards that.
How so?
What do you mean, how so?
Like winning the bowl game?
No. Their defensive coordinator deciding he doesn't want to be their defensive coordinator anymore.
Wait, where was I on that one?
Are you being serious?
I'm being 100% serious.
You have no idea what I'm talking about?
I swear, I was looking at stuff during the national title game too, because we had a little extra time.
This is I almost don't even believe you.
I swear to you.
Have you not been on
And
Twitter for
I
the
was off the
last
Twitter
what
over the weekend.
4 or 5 days?
I guess I haven't.
Oh my God. Okay, so
Well, fill me in
I,
along with
I
our
will.
listeners.
You know what's funny is I texted you yesterday. I was like, hey, because we were gonna pod last night, and I said, hey, I'm tired, so let's do it tomorrow because I want to make sure I get all my ducks in a row for this because it's a big podcast. And
You
you were
did
like,
say
yeah,
that.
okay. And I figured you knew what I was talking about, but apparently not.
No.
Fine, I'll break news to you right now. So, so I guess this was Thursday around noon, Pacific, and it's lunchtime at work, and I'm checking the Twitter machine, and it just comes up: Mike Elko is going to be the defensive coordinator at Texas A&M, and you know, it's like a kick in the face because he was, it was reported like Brian Kelly came out like before the bowl game was like, yeah, he's signing on, like he's going to be our coach next year or the defensive coordinator next year. And it was when he said it, it was kind of weird. It's like, oh,
Why would this be a thing?
okay, thank you for telling me. Like that's nice. I didn't know that that was in question. So, and then the reports keep coming in. It's like, is this really legit? And it turns out it's absolutely legit. And like an hour later, Brian Kelly releases an official statement that says, he's gone. So apparently, what the what have you is on Eric Hansen for the South Bend Tribune, he reported that, and look, this is clearly coming from like maybe even Brian Kelly himself. Okay, he's reporting that Texas A&M approached Elko a couple of times and asked him to do it. They offered him a contract or whatever. And he said no twice. And then Notre Dame, I don't know if he's coming back to Notre Dame. It's like, hey, this is what I'm being offered. Like, what do you guys want to do? So then Notre Dame offers him 1.5 million over X amount of time, which is a raise,
Mm-hmm.
They offer him 1.5 million and he agrees to it, right? And this is why Brian Kelly came out and was like, yeah, he's going to be our coach because he agreed to a contract. And so apparently in between then and now, Texas A&M comes back and says, all right, we'll offer you 1.8 plus incentives. And so then Elko comes back to Notre Dame and is like, hey, A&M offered me, this much money. And I guess Notre Dame was like, well, you already agreed to a contract and now you're coming back to us for more money. So, we're done. So if you want to take the deal, then you should take it. And so he took it.
You showed them.
He showed them. So that's where we're at.
Wow.
Yeah. So Notre Dame doesn't have a defensive coordinator.
Does Jimbo Fisher know him from like the ACC days, or?
Yeah, I mean he was the defensive coordinator at Wake Forest, so I guess he liked him. I mean, look at he struck out on Dave Aranda at LSU, and he struck out with the guy at Texas. I can't think of his name right now, but he tried to get both those guys, and they didn't. So they went after Elko, and they got him. And so now the whole scuttlebutt on in Notre Dame world is, did they do the right thing? Should they have just paid whatever he wanted, or were they right to be like, you know what, like you already agreed to a contract, and now you want a new one 3 days later? Like we're not cool with that.
And yeah, I feel like you're 1 foot out the door if you're doing that stunt.
The thing about, and that I didn't really realize too, is 1.5 million a year would have been the third highest assistant in college football. So you would have Dave Aranda and you would have Brent Venables at Clemson, and then you would have Mike Elko. And as like I tweeted today, like the defensive coordinators in this national championship game, like Notre Dame offered him more money than both of them. So it's hard for me to be like, well, Notre Dame wasn't willing to pay. Well, it's like, well, they clearly were.
Just not the most.
Yeah, like if you're paying your assistant coach who has been your coach for one season, and you pay him more than the Alabama guys and the Georgia guys, then you're paying top dollar, right? So, and I can see that, and I can also see, like, hey, you said yes to us. It's not
right,
like
it's not nice. Like if
it's not that it's not nice.
Negotiating with it's kind of bad faith, kind of.
Are we exactly? That's the thing to me. Like, are we doing this in good faith or what? Because who's to say Notre Dame comes back? All right, it says, all right, we'll pay 1.8, and then he goes back to A&M, and it's like, well, actually, now it's 2, or 2.2, or 2.3, or whatever.
And how long are we doing this for?
Yeah, like, well, I mean, what are we doing? Like, do you want to do this or no? Because you said yes already. So how many times are you going to say yes before it's actually yes? And I've been listening to a podcast today talking about how the money wasn't like, it was a factor, but it wasn't the deciding factor. Like Mike Elko, like he said today in a press conference that, I came to A&M because I wanted a chance to win a national championship.
Ouch.
And my thing to that is, okay, if you didn't mention the money, then I can't take a lot of credence in what you just said. Like, look, the money obviously played a big difference. Okay, it's not like it didn't. So, and 2, who's closer? Who's closer to winning a national championship, Notre Dame or Texas A&M? Okay, I mean Texas A&M, they're in the SEC. They have to deal with Georgia. They have to deal with Alabama. They have to deal with LSU. I mean, they're the third team in their own state. So, for me to hear that, it's like, okay, you're just saying something. And a lot of Notre Dame people are taking that as like, we'll see, like this is what he thinks about Notre Dame.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Like, to me, it's like you're just saying that because you didn't want to say you took the most money. If anything, I could understand if he was like, you know what? They just gave Jimbo Fisher a 10-year deal. And I don't know how long Brian Kelly's going to be around at Notre Dame. So
that is a great point.
I wanted to go somewhere where I wanted to.
He can't say that, though.
He can't say it, but I feel like it's more likely that that's the case than it's like,
he can hint at it. Yeah, he's like, I don't want to go looking for a job. I don't like. I got this thing at Texas A&M. Like, I can be there for a while.
Yeah, like I just wanted some stability.
Because Brian Kelly's gonna get fired next year.
It's not like he doesn't think that he can't win at Notre Dame. Like, that's ridiculous. Like I don't buy that for a second. I don't buy that for 1 second. Not when his team lost to Georgia by 1 point. I mean, come on. I mean, for like one season. So like, what if Texas A&M goes 10-3,
he's out
next year? Like, it was like, I don't think Texas A&M can win. I mean, that's stupid. Like, that's silly. And here's another thing about Notre Dame in that whole situation. Because a lot of people, like, again, I was listening to a podcast today, the ISD podcast with Mike Frank, and he's talking about you got to do it for the sake of continuity, right? Well, look, if Mike Elko signs a deal for whatever, you take him to $2 million or whatever it is, he's not leaving, or he's not staying after next season. Like, he's going to go somewhere else. He's going to go coach somewhere else because he's already gotten that money. And look, he's obviously trying to, like, the chances of him coaching at Notre Dame beyond next season are low. And here's the thing.
Why would you say that? I mean, I don't know.
He would move on. Because look, that just shows itself in just business, period. When you have
Like to be a head
someone,
coach?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. That's what he wants. He's
Wow.
trying to move up and do that. So my thing is that if Notre Dame sets that precedent, like their first year defensive coordinator, who got them to what, like 27th in S&P plus, which is good. It's not like it isn't, but and I wrote an article today about how I thought like Notre Dame was justified to look away because in the month of November, you know, Notre Dame's defense wasn't the bee's knees. Okay, they gave up more points per game. They gave up more yards per play. The sacks dropped and the turnovers gain dropped. Okay. Everything that they were good at, they weren't as good at. And look, there's a lot of reasons for that. Okay. The offense was bad. The offense put them in a lot of bad positions. But, you know, they got down to Miami 14-0 real quick. And that wasn't because of the offense. Okay. The offense wasn't turning the ball over then. They gave up 34 points to Wake Forest. Okay, and about 600 yards. All right. And before Notre Dame started turning the ball over against Stanford, like they had just gone down 24-20 in the fourth quarter. All right. So I'm not trying to rip on the guy. Like he did a good job. He was a good hire. I didn't want him to leave at all. But I could see where Notre Dame is like, you know what? Now that you're coming back
Right.
and you want $2 million a year, why don't we take a look at what happened in November real quick? And
This isn't a $2 million resume.
and before you come here and try to shake us down for more money, like we have to consider the other coaches on this staff who also might want to be thinking about the same thing. Because if you're talking about continuity and you're talking about chemistry, well, it doesn't really help chemistry when you have one coach shake down Notre Dame for a lot more money and the rest of the coaches are thinking, well, what's so special about him?
Like, what's his name? Chip Long. Well, I mean, maybe not
Exactly.
after this year, but
Well, no, but like,
if the offense was a little better.
what did he do wrong? The offense was fine. The quarterback, and look, you want to talk about the quarterback, then that's fine. No one was complaining about the offense when they went 8-1 and they were scoring 40 points every week.
It's true.
That happened. So, you know, I think, look, the thing is that Mike Elko was a good hire, and I didn't want him to leave. But now Brian Kelly, like, you just got to make another good hire. You got to do it. And
so who's out there?
well, I mean, here's the thing. Most people are talking about like an in-house thing. So the linebacker coach that came with Mike Elko, should they make him the defensive coordinator? Or should they make the defensive line coach, Mike Elston? Should they make him? So like an in-house person. You know, I've heard like, I guess the Wyoming defensive coordinator, like he's pretty good. I guess the Iowa State defensive coordinator is good. There's some guys at Washington. You know, it's just hard to see though. And I heard it on another podcast, and this was I think it was Irish Illustrated, and it was a really good point, is that you can't do another reset in terms of the scheme at this point with a new person, because it doesn't fit what the program meant to do when they hired Elko in the first place. Like the point was like, we're going to install this defense and that's going to be our defense and we're going to go with it. Right. So you can't then do kind of like another rebuild when it's like Brian Kelly was, you know, this was supposed to be like a 2-year thing where it's like, yeah, we're going to install this new system and then we're going to go with it. You recruited for it.
Right.
So I don't see how you can just go in a completely another direction. I don't see how they can. And
So you need
like
someone with a similar scheme for a similar fit.
I think so. And I like, that's why I think Clark Lee makes a ton of like, that's the linebacker coach.
This explains some of your linebackers coach tweets the other day.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's all coming together now.
I'm so mad at you. I can't even. And I wrote an article that you apparently ignored.
I read it right now.
You monster. This guy, I can't even believe you. You're terrible. So that's where it's at. So people are mad, and some are mad at Elko, and some are mad at Brian Kelly, or Brian Kelly, or / Notre Dame at large.
Administration, athletic department.
Yeah, and look, I don't know. Like, here's the thing: the guy agreed. The guy said yes to a contract. I don't know, like, whether Brian Kelly should be mad. Like, look, if the guy wants to take another job, he could take another job. He said yes to the deal. Notre Dame was done as far as they were concerned. That's not cool. Like, I don't. There's no other way to look at it. Like, the way I was thinking about it is remember when DeAndre Jordan agreed with Dallas and then went back on it, went to the Clippers? Like, people crushed him for that. He just got he was crushed for doing that. And how is this any different? The only thing is different is that it didn't end up in the paper that he agreed with Notre Dame. Yeah. That's the only thing that's different.
It's a little more low key.
So look,
clearly,
like, you want to you want to make a choice for you and your family or whatever, then go for it. That's fine. But it's still not cool what you did. Like, I don't think it's ethical. But I mean, such is life.
That's a Big 12 kind of thing to do. Or they're in the SEC now.
It's an SEC thing to do.
It's an SEC kind of thing to do.
No question. Weenies.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, that's exciting. I'm glad I learned something new on the podcast.
That's the state of the program right there.
Wow. Did Notre Dame get any new recruits this weekend?
How dare you?
At the Under Armour East-West All-American game?
How dare you?
Were there any Notre Dame guys there?
There were a lot of Notre Dame guys there. Thank you for asking.
I wasn't paying attention. I was only watching the West team.
You monster. Look, I'm going to do a thing, Michael.
Okay.
I'm just going to point out some stuff.
All right.
Okay? I'm not ripping on the kid. Okay? I'm not ripping on him. There were just things that I noticed that even if he was not going to go to USC, and we're talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown, Equinemius' brother. Okay? And now, before I say anything, I just want to say that by all accounts, he's a good kid, well-spoken, good student, all right, upstanding citizen. Okay? That being said, look, look, you catch a pass, and look, I get it's an all-star game, and that's fine. You catch a pass, it's like a 30-yard pass or whatever, it's underthrown, he comes back, he catches it. And it's like, to his own 30 or 35 or whatever. He gets up, he spins the ball. Did you see this?
I saw it.
He spins the ball and then picks it up and punts it.
It was a good punt, too.
I was like, what is this? Like, what is that?
No penalty?
No penalty. No penalty. And it's like, look, I understand they're all like celebrating the touchdown or whatever. Like, this is, I mean, can it at least be a delay of game? Pretty sure you can't just kick the ball like that.
When I saw it, I was like, huh, I didn't know you could do that. Like, no one even blinked.
No,
like, I had to watch it a couple of times to get like the context of the play. I was like, did this kid just in the middle of a drive just punt the ball?
You got like, if you're opposing players, like, hey, can I just kick the ball whenever I feel like is that cool? Or
is this what we're doing now?
Where are we at with that? But the thing that was like really red flaggy to me, really red flaggy, you know what it is?
I know what you're saying. Keep going.
You know what I'm going to say. Okay, so he catches a pass. He gets pushed out of bounds. And the funny thing is, I think this girl was a USC fan too. Because the guy who helped her up was wearing a USC shirt. He goes out of bounds. He knocks over this girl on the sideline, okay, who's like 10 yards out of bounds. He got pushed into her. It's not his fault. but he kind of like knocks her over, and he completely knocks her over. And he looks at her, and he doesn't help her up. And I mean, red flaggy, Michael.
He was just busy. He was thinking about the punt.
He was thinking about something, and that was red flaggy. Not cool. You got to help her up.
That would be the nice thing to do, but it's okay.
It would be.
He's young.
It'd be the nice thing to do. He is young, and I'm not besmirching his character. I just think that in the future, it would be nice if he helped the girl up.
I'm sure he'll learn from that.
That's all I'm gonna say about it.
So,
and this is me being a little bit bitter because I think he is awesome. He is great.
He's fantastic. When he scored his touchdown in the U.S. Army game, whatever it's called, it was him and future Trojan JT Daniels, who was added to the roster when he committed to USC.
Mm-hmm.
They were yelling at the East team that this is West Coast football. I thought that was fun.
Is that true?
That's true.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb. This is West Coast football. Oh my god. Okay, well.
There was another great tweet. I'm going to blow this in my explanation, but he was the punt returner, and he let the ball. The punt was coming down like at the 5-yard line, and he let it go into the end zone. So someone tweeted, USC fans are very excited by the punt return by Amon-Ra for not catching it at the 5.
That's funny.
I thought that was great. Great football awareness already. But since Amon-Ra St. Brown is coming to USC, someone's leaving.
A lot of people are leaving, Michael.
Well, a lot of people are leaving, but a receiver's leaving. That was announced today. Junior receiver Deontay Burnett is going to go to the NFL. He's leading receiver this year, was 83 catches. So I think it's fine. The young guys his quarterback's leaving for one.
His quarterback is leaving.
Who knows what poo-poo platter you could get next year. So just to be safe, you kind of go out on top. The young guys are coming. You got Michael Pittman, Tyler Vaughns, and Amon-Ra. So, hey, you got Joe Lewis, who got a ball thrown at him in the Cotton Bowl.
It's definitely the youth movement.
Yeah, so I think it's just time to go.
Well, let's see. The last 2 years combined, let's see if my math is good, 142 catches.
That sounds about right.
16 touchdowns, about 622, about 1,700 yards.
So, I mean, not super great, but not bad. I think he's top 10 in a bunch of SC categories.
I mean, look, 142, 1,700 yards, and 16 touchdowns. Like, that's good.
Yeah, they're solid numbers.
Take that.
Yeah, so I think he penciled in as like a slot receiver in the NFL, so who knows where teams value that. So depending on what kind of team he goes to, who's his quarterback, like anything is possible for Deontay Burnett in the NFL.
Yeah.
So whatever. So good for him. Ronald Jones, also USC tailback. Ronald Jones has announced he will be going pro.
Thank God.
So it's all the Stephen Carr show now in the backfield, which is fine. And Ronald Jones was rated the number 1 running back by Pro Football Focus College Football.
Is that true?
I'm pretty sure I saw that.
Over Saquon Barkley?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
They said it was a close one because they had Mike McGlinchey as the number 1 tackle. So I was kind of scrolling through their Twitter to see who they had as the other top players.
Well, is that as far as grades?
Yeah.
Okay. Because there's no way he'd go over.
I don't think it was draft. Even if it was draft eligible, that Saquon Barkley would still be there.
Well, he's out, so he's coming out. I can't imagine he would be just because of the receiving. I mean, Saquon Barkley caught 54 balls this year.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how they do it. And he returns kicks, so I don't know.
I mean, look, Ronald Jones is good. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And then the big domino to fall. Sam Darnold is going pro. I don't remember if that happened before or after our last podcast.
It was after.
It was. Okay. It was like the next day.
Yeah.
So I mean, we all knew that was coming. I was listening to an old podcast. So I was clearing out my feed on my podcast app, and apparently after the Washington State game, there were rumors that Sam Darnold was leaving. So those rumors were true. And goodbye, Sam. I would leave too. You couldn't make me stay. Go get paid. I'll don't pull the Matt Barkley, Matt Leinart.
You got to do it. You have to do it. He can't.
Him and Rosen, some West Coast guys supposed to go 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Charlie Casserly says they're better than last year's quarterbacks.
You know what's funny about that is Charlie Casserly said they're better than last year's quarterbacks. There was, who was it? I was listening to someone today, and they said that none of them are as good as the 3 top quarterbacks last year.
During the NFL playoff game, I think somebody said it too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think Musburger might have said it.
So he
doesn't do NFL. Sean McVay, right? Sean McDonough, whoever does it with John Gruden.
Oh, McDonough,
yeah. I think he might have said it.
Oh, okay. Well, so you have one says both are better than all, and another says none are better than any.
I have a hunch that headline comes out every year.
It probably
is kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah, it probably does.
Because I mean, who were last year's guys? Mahomes, Mahomes, Deshaun Watson, and
Trubisky.
Oh yeah, Trubisky. So, I mean, if you want to tell yourself Trubisky and Mahomes are better than Rosen and Darnold, I mean, you can believe that all you want.
I don't know about Trubisky.
Yeah,
kind of shaky to me.
I don't know about Watson's Mahomes, fine. Right?
Like he didn't play. I mean, Watson was great. He was about to be he was about to be the rookie of the year. So, yeah, he's good.
So yeah. I mean, and everyone thought Goff was garbage last year, and this year now he was the talk of the town.
Turns out USC alum Jeff Fisher, not good coaching.
Who would have thought?
Not good at the coaching.
He is mediocre at. That's what he is.
Well, let's see. He had Jared Goff, who his career almost ruined, and this year he hosted a playoff game, and then he had Case Keenum, who is the 2 seed in the NFC as a bye. They were both.
Also had Nick Foles on his team.
He had Nick Foles too.
But
also starting a playoff game. He wasn't trying to start, but even though he had two quarterbacks on his roster that ended up being the 2 and the 3 seed in the NFC. Fantastic.
And that team did not make the playoffs.
USC alum, Jeff Fisher.
They can't all be great.
I hope he takes over for Clay Helton when he flames out.
No. Jeff Fisher doesn't have it in him to be a college coach. I don't know who's going to take over for Clay Helton when he gets fired next year. It's going to be interesting.
Maybe it'll be Brian Kelly.
He'll be available.
He probably
If there's
will.
one thing I know doing this podcast for 3 years is that whatever's happening at USC is also kind of happening at Notre Dame or vice versa. There are shades of each other.
True.
In the programs. And I have full confidence that both the coaches of the programs we follow will get fired in the same year. Whenever that year is, I have full confidence it'll happen at the exact same time. So one does not get to outshine the other.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So there's still a couple guys left who could leave for USC. Everyone thinks Rasheem Green's going to leave. I didn't realize how good of a season he had last year. I kind of forgot about him. Apparently, he had a very good season. Toa Lobadan may leave, offensive lineman.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he may leave. Cam Smith, starting middle linebacker, may leave.
I thought he was
And
a senior.
no. He's a junior.
Huh.
He started as a true freshman. And I think he's led the team in tackles every year. And then Amon Marshall. But he kind of he got hurt a little bit. So people think he may not come out. But he may also play safety at the next level. So who knows?
Iman Marshall.
Yeah.
I could see that. I thought he was going to play safety in college because he
Well,
was a
now that
big
All
dude.
American Jack Jones, well, everyone saw what happens when Isaiah Langley plays corner, so
Oh, correct.
they need him there. Uh, Porter Gustin's coming back, so that's probably the one exciting USC player who's coming back for sure. That's Porter Gustin.
Okay.
Um. So yeah, the defense could be in shambles, just real quick. Like if the rebuild does not go well next year, this could be a rough season. I mean, the quarterback's gone, the running back's gone, the best receiver's gone, the center's gone, the let's see, maybe an offensive tackle's gone. Like that's rough. And then on defense,
I don't know. That sounds pretty awesome to me.
you got your best defensive end, one of your safeties, your outside linebacker guy who's good, a defensive tackle who you're already thin at to begin with, maybe your middle linebacker, and a corner.
I don't know. That sounds pretty good to me. I feel like it's good.
That's good. SC can recover.
You can sign me up for that. Well, here's the thing, Michael. And it's funny how you say that because because you just said like everything what's happening at USC is also happening at Notre Dame. So Notre Dame could have returned their top tackler and their third highest tackler. Let me see, because Coney led the team in tackles,
Right.
and Tranquil was third.
Now Tranquil's coming back, right?
He's coming back, but he said that when he thought his coach was coming back, and now we're not so sure if he's coming back. So they could have returned their first, third, and sixth tacklers, but it seems like Coney will leave. Tranquil hopefully stays.
Now, would he go pro or would he like graduate transfer?
Tranquil, he would go pro.
Okay.
He wouldn't graduate transfer because, I mean, you only graduate transfer if you're not going to start, basically. And he's obviously started. He's going to be a captain. Although, it would be pretty incredible if a captain graduate transferred. That would be awesome. So they could lose Coney, Tranquil, and Tillery. And then for the season, they would lose their first, second, third, fourth, and sixth tacklers, which is good.
Tackling
and when I say good, I mean not good.
Yes, you're being sarcastic. I think it was understood.
So at one point, you would be like, yeah, Notre Dame, they're going to return everybody. And now they're going to return no one, which is tight.
And there's a giant hole on the left side of the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
Receiver gone. Who knows who's playing quarterback?
Yeah, we could go through that. We're
starting tailback. That's the same thing. It's the same thing I just said.
Yeah, our top receiver, our top running back, and our two top tackles, our two top linemen, and I guess the quarterback, right?
I mean, just in flux.
In flux.
Quarterback's in flux.
This is good. Starting tight end. The precocious tight end from Bishop Gorman might just leave to go to the NFL. To go to the NFL and just not get drafted. Talk about a guy who's like choosing to end his career early. Yeah. Things are good. Things are real good. I'm gonna go cry. I'm gonna go cry in bed.
I have a hot USC take. You want to hear it?
I do. All right, wait. Are you gonna do the stupid Ewing theory thing?
No.
Okay.
No. Sam Darnold's great.
Okay.
I'm backing Jack Sears As of right now, I'm back in Jack Sears.
as opposed to well, we know it's not going to be the one kid who played against Notre Dame because he's not.
Right.
He's not the answer to any question.
Mike Fink or something like that.
Matt Fink, yeah, he's not the answer to any questions.
Mike Fink is a guy I used to work with.
So you say Jack Sears over
JT Daniels.
Over JT Daniels?
Yeah.
Is Jack Sears good? Like
I don't know. I think he won his the CIF title. He broke all Sam Darnold's records.
San Clemente?
Yeah.
So he was a freshman last year.
Yes.
Is that what we're going with? I'm looking him up, Michael.
All right, Jack Sears.
Oh, he's got the classic look.
He's faster than Fink too, is the rumor.
Faster than Fink, huh?
I mean, profile.
So he's ranked lower than. He kind of looks like Sunshine from Remember the Titans.
Okay, that's a good thing, I think.
That's what he looks like.
Ronnie Bass.
He looks like Sunshine to me.
Okay, we can call him Sunshine. I'm okay with that.
He ranked lower. He's ranked lower than Notre Dame's current quarterback commit, Phil Dracovic.
Okay.
Not top 100. That's interesting.
Not top 100. Dicey.
So I can totally go with this guy for sure. Sign me up.
I mean, this is barring, anything I hear from the summer and spring and stuff.
No, this is your prediction, and that you got to hold it.
You know what my prediction was last year at this time?
They would be undefeated and national champions.
I predicted that one, if not both of our teams would be in the hunt for the college football playoff.
Notre Dame was in the hunt.
I know. Then everybody just blew it.
Yes, that is correct.
But yeah, I said I had a hunch. That was my wacky. That was my hunch for last year. It was right for most of the season.
I like it.
So this year, I'm a Sears backer. I'm a Sears guy.
Good.
I'll try to think of a funny Sears department store analogy or metaphor.
I mean, spring ball is right around the corner, Michael.
We got to do recruits first.
We do have to do recruits, but I'm just saying.
People love recruits.
As far as Jack Sears, people do love recruits. It's such a bummer, though, because now Notre Dame doesn't have a coach. And so that kind of slows down that whole thing. And Amon-Ra, he betrayed his brother. So
not really, because his brother left first. You didn't even say the diciest thing Amon-Ra did at the U.S. Army All-American game.
What was that?
Before he committed to USC, he plugged his dad's protein drink.
Is that no good?
I don't know. It's very Ballian, as in LeVar. Ball. Yes.
That terrible person.
Yes.
It is very LeVar Ball. I wonder, is that even legal? It's like a sponsor?
It sounds like a violation.
It sounds like a little something.
But it's his dad, so maybe not.
It's his dad.
His dad was already famous, so it's not like his dad was Mr. Olympics, right? Mr. Olympia or something.
Olympia, yeah, he's very in good shape.
Yeah. So it's not like LeVar Ball, who was not really famous, but thinks
what if he gets profit from it though? It's actually this is an interesting question.
I saw
and I'm
not
trying to get in trouble, obviously, but
I mean, obviously someone else is on it before us. I don't think we're breaking recruiting violations here. You never know, though.
It's a good point.
With the stupid NCAA.
It's a good point. Someone has definitely thought of this already.
I mean, because what's his name? Des Bryant got in trouble for hanging out with Deion Sanders because he said it on Twitter or something.
No, because he said he didn't. He told the NCAA that he didn't hang out with them, and then he had, and they were like, "You can't lie to us. You're
done.
You can't play college football anymore because lying is bad."
But Johnny Manziel can sign football helmets and get right back out there.
Yeah, Cam Newton.
Do the money sign.
Dad is caught saying this. This is classic. Cam Newton's dad is caught saying I want $200,000. It's yeah, but we didn't actually get it, so we're good.
Cool. And North Carolina just has fake classes, so whatever. No biggie.
I know we have fake classes. and I know we have fake majors, but anyone can be in our fake majors and our fake classes.
I'll never get over that as long as I live.
Anyone can take it. It's free for you and me and anyone. We can take
A regular student could have signed up for these fake classes.
A regular student could sign up for the fake class and
benefit.
Yeah, and then get their degree.
So who's really benefiting? Everyone is.
Who among us has not signed up for a fake class?
This educational institution
and got
having fake classes benefits everyone.
It sounds like a pretty cool program to me.
I wish I would have known about it earlier. I would have loved to go to North Carolina. I'm sure it's lovely.
So I just want to say something.
Yeah.
So I'm watching in the background here. I've got the ESPN is still on, so I'm watching highlights of the final play.
Okay.
And in the post game, Nick Saban said to Tom Rinaldi, he asked him about the play, and he's like, "Well, we had 4 verticals."
And he went Seattle.
Yeah, he's like, we went Seattle, and so it's 4 verticals. And I'm watching the play now, and that is absolutely not correct.
Was it just 2 verticals?
It was 2 verticals. The tight end on the opposite side runs like a drag route. It's not a drag, but it's like almost like a dig route, like an in route. So he's coming across, and then the slot receiver on the other side also runs a dig route.
So you got 2 guys crossing over the middle and 2 guys going vertical on the sides.
Yeah, and the back swings out into the flat. Absolutely not 4 vertical. The opposite of 4 vertical. 2 vertical.
Well, when I used in NCAA 2014 for the PlayStation 3, Seattle was my go-to play. And it was 3 vertical. So, off the top of my head.
From what I understand, the PlayStation game is or Xbox, whatever the kids play. It's supposed to teach you a lot about football.
It does a pretty good job.
That's the rumor.
That's how Antonio Gates learned how to play football.
Oh, yeah?
That's what he says. He credits playing Madden.
Oh, interesting.
To help him learn what zones and coverages and things. Like, what's cover 3? What's cover 4? What's a robber?
They do have a good robber system. I will give them that.
I love a good cover 1 robber.
Yep.
All right. So we get in the esoteric weeds here.
Okay.
Like I said earlier, you could find, and Greg mentioned when he discovered I had not read his article. Greg posts articles to UHND.com. It's the unofficial home of Notre Dame athletics. He is Greg2126 on Twitter. If you guys don't respond to his tweets, he'll do it himself, as I caught him doing the other day. But get at him. He loves it. He loves this stuff.
Michael, it's called threading. You thread your own tweet.
I don't know. It looked like you replied to yourself.
I did reply to myself. I was furthering a thought. I didn't. It's not like I asked the question and then answered it.
I don't know. It's pretty close. You're talking about a linebackers coach, man.
Well, you know what, Michael? Maybe you should have read it, and then you would have.
I should have. I guess I missed it by like an hour. Had I gone to Twitter an hour earlier,
you should have.
I would have been up to date on what was going on at Notre Dame. So I apologize. So I could factually say that Greg has all the breaking news for you.
That's right.
And I was not following closely enough. I'm Michael Muto on Twitter. You can enjoy my live tweets of college football games, which I've been doing lately, which is very fun. And it's been a fun place for me of late. I'm kind of back. Write a review. Tell your friends. Next week, I guess we'll wrap up who really went pro. And try to get something fun going. I don't know. And then it's recruiting, and then who knows. So, signing off, Greg. Fight it on.
Go Irish.